Hey Virgo, what's up? We are here with your reading, what you need to know for January. The first card that we have out is Queen of Swords. Already analyzing. There can be something that you're in thought about. I'm seeing the Lovers. All right. This feels like resolving some type of issue. The Five of Swords is coming out reversed, which can mean that some type of defensive behavior that was happening before may not be, or something that one felt like I need to be on guard. They don't really feel like that anymore. Having the Lovers here, this feels like it's connected with a close relationship of yours. Like maybe there was something that had been happening. With Five of Swords, it's like there being tension between you and another person, or like things not being good, or something needing to be worked out because things aren't all right between you and this person. But having that Five of Swords reversed means this actually being resolved so you can move forward. So it can feel like whatever it was that needed to be broken down between you and that person, that this is happening in January, that something is getting resolved, and that there's finally a moving forward. To have it be the Lovers, this can be somebody that you are close with. This will be somebody that you have an ongoing relationship with. Or something even. For most of you, it's going to be a person, but it doesn't have to be. It looks like this may not have been an easy thing to resolve, Virgo. Not easy to resolve. I'm seeing it be resolved though. I think not easy maybe from like a psychological place. This can even be from a place of ego. We have Leo here. It can be difficult to do so, to do what needs to be done, to be heart-led moving through this. But then I'm seeing the Four of Swords, which actually means like things stabilize and you can relax, and you may even spend some time recharging. This looks like it's going to be happening like probably around the end of the first week. You'll feel like things are more settled then. You may even have to take some time out for yourself. Keeping a close eye on plans that are developing. And maybe even focusing on sticking to a plan that you have. I'm seeing Gemini, Leo, and Taurus here. Two of Wands and the Hierophant. This can be like some quest that you're on, that you're going to be continuing, something that you can be planning out. This would be like a more methodical, like normal way of planning, to have Two of Wands and the Hierophant. This can even be connected with committing to a plan, sticking to a plan. And this can be even a more traditional way of going about planning as well. That feels more common even. This can also be focusing on work too. That can be something that's happening. Whatever was going on that is connected with the conflict that had to be worked out, there could have been some holding on. There could have been some stubbornness as well. There can be some needing to stand by what's important to you while also being flexible where that's needed too. We also have the moon being thrown into the mix as well. I get this sense that there are going to be a lot of things that are popping up during January that can feel like they sort of throw you for a loop. It looks like different things need to be dissected. This can be a lot of different, it looks like a lot of different activity mentally and emotionally, and you're going to need to give yourself space and time. This feels like plan to take breaks, like plan things where there's space in between. Don't be doing things back to back, because it feels even like there's the planning and being methodical with stuff and activity and whatnot, and then it feels like there also needs to be rest periods as well, and that being important, because it looks like there's a lot that you're making sense of, and there can be a lot that you're processing mentally and emotionally. I'm seeing something that looks kind of intensive where you're emotionally involved. For many of you, this is going to be a relationship with another person. It doesn't have to be, but for most of you, this is probably how it's going to play out. It's interesting too, because we have the Hierophant sort of squaring off here with strength, and both of these, even though they're different modalities, both of them are fixed energies. The Hierophant is, these are my patterns, and these are my habits, and these are my beliefs, and these are the things that I stick to. These are the common sort of day-to-day ways of doing things, and this is sort of traditionally how things go. And then when you have strength, this is about the things that we put our energy into constantly and what lights us up, and so there can be a meeting of these energies. Things having to do with self-expression can be coming up to be looked at for many of you within a relationship. What we believe, what we are expressing, what matters to us, where we won't budge, where we will be flexible. This can also be about sticking to your morals, your beliefs, your standards. That can be something that comes up too. It's interesting because we do have the moon here, and this can indicate fluctuations. So there can be some sort of, now I'm feeling this, now I'm feeling that. There can be a fluidity to this. But then we also have fixed energy here too. So it can feel a little bit like each transition can feel difficult to make at times. But then we have that variety because we also have Gemini here as well. And so with that combination of Gemini and also the moon, Gemini is a mutable energy, which means that there's the fluidity there. Mutable is about the transition, but then we have fixed energies which don't like to transition. So there can just be a whole mix of a lot of things that are going on here where it kind of feels like bumper cars a little bit. And having to sort of cooperate and work through this. And even though I'm seeing something that looks like a relationship, so far I'm just seeing you here. I'm not seeing another person. So you can feel like maybe there's a big focus on you, even though you personally, even though a relationship can be part of the storyline. Okay, so you're figuring out the plan, you're figuring out your next steps, breaking things down so you really know what you'd be grabbing hold of as far as what's presenting itself to you. I'm seeing like a door presents itself to you, you could go through it before you do it. I feel like you break it down totally to know what you'd be stepping into if you were to do that. Okay, now we have another energy here. What the next step is on a personal level for you, and looking into what you want, what you don't want. We do have 8 of Cups here. There can be some questioning about a close relationship that you have, and if it's something that you feel like provides what you need or not, or like that it's still something that you value within your life. It's still fulfilling something for you. And a deep analysis about this. It can be something that you don't necessarily want to let go of. It can be something that you want to hold on to. Nonetheless, I feel like there is a deep evaluation, Virgo, of this. There can be a part of you that feels very fixed on holding on to this regardless, and then there's another part of you that feels like I need to take a closer look at this. Because you want to be honoring yourself and you want to be honoring how you feel. And given that, I am seeing the Eight of Cups here, but then I'm seeing Two of Swords, which can mean, do I want it? Do I not want it? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I not? Do I feel satisfied? Do I not? Do I feel like there's still something here for me or no? Do I want to be in this relationship? Do I not? Do I think that I'd be better off not? For some of you, I'm hearing, is it too late? Something about this that's going to be coming up is that something that you're going to be looking into is your own personal stuff. Stuff that can feel beyond sort of your conscious decision making, especially when it comes to your personal preferences of things. Because we have strength here, and this does speak about your very own qualities and nature, and there can be something that you're looking into about that. And I think is something that can be coming up as well is, are these standards that I have that are important, or am I being too inflexible? And that can be something that's coming up that you're working through. Because I feel like as far as what's happening next, it feels like I'm not sure about that. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? What do I want to do here? And you can feel like there's a more of a depth that you can go into. And I feel like you have different options here of what you can be doing. Nonetheless, you may feel like you don't really know what's right for you. I don't get that this is totally concluded by the end of January. This looks very much like it's probably going to continue into February. I'm sure it would be convenient to feel like you've come to a conclusion, but it feels like there's so much going on and this is so complicated that it's a lot to weigh, like pros and cons. And I think too, when it gets into things such as personal preferences, that can be something that's difficult because you can be asking yourself, do I actually need this? Or do I just want it? Is that the same thing? Can I compromise on this? Am I compromising too much on this? Like, when does it go from I'm being cooperative and compromising to crossing a line, feeling like you have needs that are not being met, that are meant to be met by a relationship, ideally, by this relationship, ideally? And that can really be something important that's coming up here, and needing to pay attention to that. Is this something that's muting an experience that you want to be having, or your self-expression, where maybe you're feeling like you can't be yourself, or that you're not getting some type of experience that you would enjoy having? And maybe too, there's like, I'm seeing something about an opportunity for some type of equalizing, stabilizing. I think when it comes to your everyday with your routine, and then also on a mental level, and that it looks like that's the direction of where you may be wanting to put your focus, to feel like your everyday is stabilizing and steadying, and that mentally you're feeling more at ease, like more relaxed, more centered, and feel like you're more regularly in a place where you want to be mentally. I do feel like all of this is centered around a relationship, and it feels like a somewhat committed relationship, breaking things down, breaking values down even, And then having Eight of Cups is, am I able to explore what I want to explore within this? Or am I feeling like I'm cutting myself off from potential opportunities that I want to be exploring? Can I feel satisfied and fulfilled within this? Or is this something that it's time for me to walk away? Do I feel like this is the end of the story here? Or do I feel like I don't want this to be the end of my story? I want to keep exploring. And does this come along with me or not? And that being something big here. And the thing is too, that it's not like there's a right or wrong. This is about your own preferences of things. And that's part of strength being here. This is really about like, what do you want? What do you think? Are you honoring yourself? Are you honoring how you feel? How do you feel? And really connecting with that on a deeper level. Because it feels like, I feel like you know what your options are here, but you may not know what to pick. And that this is about figuring that out and going through that process. Because it's not like you're not seeing everything. I feel like you see the whole chessboard. You're just not sure what the right move is for you to be making here. And so this feels like a lot of paying close attention to help you get closer to an answer for yourself about really what it is that you want to be doing here. As I said before, I'm not seeing it look like a decision is made by the end of January. This looks like something that's going to carry into February at least. Are you going to follow your heart? Are you going to honor your intuition and your feeling? Are you going to do something else? What even is honoring that? What does that look like? Making sense of all of this. There is, okay, so objectively for like anybody that's in this position, there's not really a right and wrong, but for you and what is in your best interest to be doing, I think that you can get closer to a conclusion here. And so this feels like going about doing that through this process. You could even put a pause on something until you feel like you're more so in your right mind at different points too. I'm not seeing a rush to do this. I'm seeing this be more so trying to figure out what is the right next step to be taking and feeling like maybe you feel like you've been thinking and thinking and thinking and it's not really getting you. You know what I'm seeing actually? I'm seeing the vision of a tire that's stuck in the mud, and no matter how much the acceleration is being pressed, it stays in the same spot because there's no traction. Note too that as much as this can feel like it's my responsibility to be figuring these things out, there can be stuff going on astrologically where it's like you're not getting enough clarity to be able to make a choice within this. So just know that it's not like you need to come up with a decision and do it now, or like if you would just think about this a little harder, you'd arrive at a conclusion. I very much believe that there's something going on astrologically. I get the feeling, I haven't looked at the astrology, but I do get a feeling that something is going on that is not allowing for the clarity you need to do this. Just do what you can to work through this. Think about what you need and what you want for yourself. Think about what your ideals are here. Think about ideally what you would be experiencing. Like even like forget we're thinking about this particular relationship. Think about in general what it is that you want, what you'd like to experience, what needs you have. Like forget thinking about another person right now. Just think about you with yourself here. If you could write up like a dream relationship or dream opportunity, what would that look like for you? And some of you too, like this can be a romantic relationship, this can be a friendship, this can be a business partnership. It's going to be something that has to do with a relationship. And you figuring out if this is something that you want to stay tied to, something that you want to keep moving within, or if you'd rather have a different type of experience. And to honor what it is that you discover. There may be a part of you that when it comes to your routine, you can want things to sort of stay the same, but when it comes to what's going on emotionally, you can feel some discord, and that can also be something that's being dealt with too. Like there may be a part of you that's like, I don't want this to change. I want to be doing this. This is familiar. This is what I know. And then there may be another part of you that's like, well, it's not going to feel right, because there's something going on here that you need to take a closer look at. So as much as there can be a part of you that's saying like, I don't want to have to do something, or I don't want to have to switch it up. There can be another part of you that's saying, well, I'm not going to let you rest because there's something going on here, and you're not going to just ignore it. Whatever that means for you. Don't make a call until you're ready. I do feel like something is going on astrologically that may be getting in the way of you seeing things clearly. And so I think the number one thing not to do here is to say, I'm still confused, but I'm going to make a choice anyway. Because it doesn't feel like that may be something that sticks, because it's not concluded in the right way. Like, don't be like, well, it's taken me too long, so I'm just going to make a choice now, even though you don't like really have that logic behind it. I wouldn't advise doing that here within this. You're on your own time frame. Don't rush yourself through this process. You're not behind on this. It can feel frustrating, and it can feel like maybe you don't want this to go on as long as it is, or as long as it has. And at the same time, don't rush yourself to a conclusion. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. So don't be like making up these arbitrary rules. Like, I need to decide in 5 days, and if I don't, I'm just going to make a decision. You don't need to be doing that here. I'm not seeing that be suggested. Sometimes we're in situations and it's like you just need to make a choice because this is inconsequential. That's not the case within this. Okay. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.